All right. Cool. All right. So Jamie, how's it going, man? Welcome to Breakthrough Society.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, brother.
For sure, man. It's an honor. Um, all right, I froze for a sec. Yeah, dude. So whenever you meet somebody for the first time, and they say, "Hey, Jamie, what do you do?" Like, what's your answer to that? How do you respond?
How to respond? Man, that's a good question. Back in December, well, it's been a long journey, of course. Everybody has that journey, right?
Yeah.
But I work with people that want more out of their life, out of their own personal business, typically entrepreneurs, right? And they're stuck, because of one of two reasons. They're either stuck because they have unprocessed trauma, usually in your childhood, right?
Mhm.
And then the other reason that people are usually stuck is because of information overload. So it's I need this funnel, I need to run these advertisements, I need this CRM. Oh my God, I don't know where to go. And then a lot of entrepreneurs also get stuck, and I got stuck my own self for a long time, and listening to this person and that person, this person and that person, and although it's all kind of the same destination, like your head could spin really fast, right? Do you listen to Gary? Do you listen to Tony? Do you listen to Ed, Andy, Dean, Ryan? Who do you listen to? Oh my God, it's so much. And I was stuck in that for a long time, brother. And then when I really dialed back into Apex and Ryan Stewman, after 2.5 years being in the program, I started floating that way, right? I was listening to all these different podcasts, and I like all those guys. But when I got dialed back into just Ryan's message, and then only working with coaches that coach under him in a similar system, was I able to get clear on my path.
So what is it that you help like the business owners
So
do?
we'll start with, the first thing that we start with is, what does your life look like at age 80? And most people start with, I have no clue, right? So it comes down to, is your business running you, or are you running your business? And are you building with intent and with purpose?
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is, if you have a significant other in your life, a spouse, a fiance, somebody you're going to be with for a long time, I ask that my clients start and write down a rough idea of what their life looks like age 80, and have their significant other do the same thing, completely separate, without interference of each other. There's no right or wrong answers. Your dreams are your dreams. His or her dreams are his or her dreams, right? And it's a rough draft. It doesn't have to be so much in specific detail, but I don't care if it's a $50 hut in the jungle or a $50 million mansion in Fiji. I don't really care. It's your dream. That's all that matters, right? And the reason that we do this is it creates a roadmap in our brain of where we're going. So the analogy I use for that is, I now live in South Florida, but I grew up in a little farming community 80 miles north of Detroit in Michigan. And long time before you were born, my friend, we had these things called paper maps. Before GPS, right? And if I wanted to go home to my little hometown, I grew up in a little farming community, I had to find it on the map, and I had to trace the route for driving instructions on how to get there. So now, of course, I know it by heart, right? I know that I take Florida's Turnpike, and it runs in Interstate 75, and I run Interstate 75 through the southern states, through Toledo, Ohio, and it's going to bring me out a little west of Detroit. And then I have to work my way north and east from there to get to my hometown through state roads and county roads. So let's say that my little hometown, that's 1,377 miles away from me now, represents age 80. And I start driving north. Well, about 3.5, 4 hours north of here, before I get out of Florida, right before I get to Georgia, there's this highway that runs east and west called Interstate 10. And Interstate 10 runs from Jacksonville, Florida to San Diego, California. So if I don't have in my mind that I want to go to my hometown called Marlette, Michigan, right? If I don't have that in my mind, and I'm just driving my car, and in this case, the analogy is my vehicle is my business or my life or whatever I'm building, and I come across Interstate 10, I might accidentally turn left and end up in Dallas or San Diego. Now, I love Dallas. I've been out there 4 times since December for Apex meetups, right? I love Dallas, and I like going out to visit, but that wasn't my intention. So here's where it gets really super powerful. I sit down and I write out what I want, and my wife sits down and writes out what she wants. And then we sit down and we discuss the two visions, and they are never the same. They're probably not even going to be close. I don't care. And we've been married probably 30 years now. We talk about this a lot because this is what I teach. So we kind of have a rough idea, but then we have to sit down and we have to negotiate a common goal. Not to get preachy on you, but the Bible says something about where two or more come together and ask for it, it shall be given, right? Or shall be done. That's a very loose translation of the Bible verse, but there's power in numbers. There's power in coming together toward a common goal. So we've decided we want to go to my hometown, and we get to Interstate 10. And let's say that 4-hour drive from here represents 4 years from now on our journey towards age 80. Now I look at my wife and I say, you know what, honey, I says, I know we were going to go to my hometown where I grew up. But you know what? I really have this feeling, like this calling that I want to go to Dallas instead. What do you think? And she says, yeah, you know what? That sounds cool. I've never been to Dallas. Let's go check it out. Now we intentionally make that left turn and we go to Dallas. That's awesome. You can change your dream is the whole point of this. You can change you could change 25 times. It doesn't matter. But the point is that you do it with intention and you're in control of it. So we start there. So what's the dream? What's the vision? Back again, is your business running you or are you running your business? What are you building? Yeah. Right? So we start with that long range vision, and then we start backing off to what's a 5-year goal? What's a 4-year goal? What's tomorrow's goal? What does tomorrow look like? And then we start building and stepping toward it. Because if you don't have that dream, my friend, first time somebody says you're crazy, someone says you don't know what you're doing, someone says who you think you are, you're going to quit. You're going to give up. You don't know what you're chasing after. And money never sustains. It can never be about the money.
Yeah, dude, and I know, I heard it before, where it's if you ask somebody what are your goals or what do you want to do by the end of the year, they got to think about it for a second because they really don't know. Yep. But if you ask them what don't you want, then they start naming all these shits, and it's like you have it backwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your name, you have everything that you don't want in the back of your mind, but sure. you don't have in the back of your mind what you want, and it's like. You got to think about it for a minute or two.
100%. So you got to have that rough idea. You got to know. Yeah. You got to know what the big idea is. So hence my program is called Vision Quest for Success, because we create that vision and then we're on a path to become successful. And whatever that looks like to you is completely fine. There's no judgment. Some people only want to hit a certain level and retire. Cool. Some people like myself, I want to work till lunchtime of the day of my funeral. Right? Because I genuinely love what I do. So they say when you love what you do, you'll do it. When you find what you love what you do, you'll do it for every day for the rest of your life. And it's not work. It's fun. I enjoy it. It's what gets me out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, that's true, man. It's what you know what I'm saying? Why would you do something different if you just enjoy what you're doing? Even if to somebody else it looks like, oh, this dude's working all the fucking time. It was like if I like working all the fucking time, I mean, why would I change it?
One of the contentions in my own marriage, my wife is like, will you ever put that phone down?
Probably not.
Okay, I have to leave in the bedroom if we're spending time in the living room together because I know it's just there. That's, I'm a social person and I'm on social media 24/7 pretty much. And that's part of getting known, like, and trust, right? For people to do business with you, they have to know who you are. They have to like you. They have to trust you. But the first part that everybody skips over is they have to know who you are. And I failed in businesses before because I didn't get known. So for the last 2 years, really, I've been on this hell bent. I'm going to get known. Everybody's going to know who I am, one way or another.
Dude, I was just talking about this. I was on an interview with another Apex member just right before this, and he told me that it's not who you know, but it's how many people know you and what you do, right? 100%. So yeah, it's like if you meet somebody new. You introduce yourself, you ask them, what do you do? And then they tell you what they do. And more than likely, they're going to ask you back what you do. And then they're going to be aware, So
100%. Yeah, you got to stay in front of people. You can't be a secret agent. You can't be an undercover. Yeah. Like for what you do, nobody knows anybody in the electrical world that they can trust. I moved to the city I live in now, the end of last June, July 1st, actually. July 31st, I'm sorry, the end of July. I don't know an electrician I can trust right now. Yeah. I just moved here. I have one friend that lives in the area. So if I need an electrician, I have 2 options. Well, I guess I could ask a neighbor I speak to once in a while, but I could ask one of my neighbors. I can ask my buddy who happens to have just joined Apex. I can ask him. Or I can go on Google or one of the community pages out there. That's the only shot I have. Yeah. But if there was an electrician that lived down the street and had a sign in his yard, he's a neighbor, there's automatically inferred trust there. if there was an electrician in my area that was always posting on Facebook and Instagram where I'm at, and I get to see him and follow him and notice him because he puts himself out there, there's an inferred trust there. People automatically trust on a certain level until you give them a reason not to.
Yeah, and not like necessarily like if they put stuff out there all the time, like not necessarily like try to sell, their services and stuff, but just give out information or try to help people out. You know,
100%. And entertainment too.
yeah, yeah. One thing that I got from Gary Vee was when he says like find ways to put yourself out of business or give information like so people don't hire you but they actually do it themselves and then they just appreciate you for not trying to sell you on that service but just helping you out. That's something that I try to do with my business.
Absolutely, because you know what? They're going to start a project. They, oh, I'm going to save all this money, and they're going to get the electrical panel open, or they're going to get the face of it open, and then they're going to go, holy crap, I don't want to do this. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know the red wire from the black wire and what goes.
Yeah.
We've all been there, right? I consider myself a handyman. I can do some things. And that's how I was raised. I was raised on a farm, and you just do things yourself. But man, at 54 years old, I want to do what I want to do. I don't want to, I just hire it done now. I don't want to
For
deal
sure,
with it.
yeah.
Could I? Sure. I can get through. I'm not going to do it as good or as quick as you are. Not to mention with electricity. I mean, I have the chance of burning my house down. So
Yeah.
I don't want to do that either, So there's that whole get known thing. I tell my clients, I'm like, look, get locally, when you have a local service such as you do, right? Get known in your local community groups. And literally, if you see somebody that asks for help on changing a head gasket on a 1967 Mustang, and you know how to do that, then tell them how, give them your 2 cents. It has nothing to do with electrical work, but they see your name.
Yeah.
And if your profile is set up properly, which I've seen yours is pretty decent, then they're gonna stalk you. Once they see your name 2, 3, 4 times, they're gonna get curious about you. If you and I are having a chat on Messenger, and I think it's cool we didn't get to really know each other before these things, right? Because we really get to have a real authentic interaction here. But if we have a chat, and I tell my wife when she comes home from work, oh, I had this nice chat with this young man, Irvin, and he happened to join Apex back in January, and I never spoke to him before. My wife needs a visualization of who you are. She's going to say, show me. And I'm going to pick up and pull up your profile Facebook. I'm going to hand it to her. The first thing my wife does is go to your photos and start flying through them. That's the first thing she does. Oh, he's got a pretty wife or a pretty girlfriend or cute kids or a cute dog. Or that's just how we are. We stalk people naturally. So use that as a business owner. I tell them take it to your advantage and put yourself out there so people stalk you so they get to know you. You want to be stalked.
Right? Yeah, dude. That's one thing that I learned from my coaches at First Form, like the Legionnaire program that they have.
Yeah.
Is they say is like don't always post. I mean, I like sometimes I don't fucking do this, but they say don't just post about fitness all the time. Like you have to get like 5. They say like just at least 5 like different like family, your business, workouts, supplements, stuff like that, and each day post one. So when people stalk your profile, how you're saying, they see that today you posted about workouts. Yesterday you posted about family. The day before you posted about what you do in your workplace and then stuff like that. So they see that, or your hobbies or sports or whatever you see, or whenever they stalk your profile, they see everything that you're about.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I didn't make this stuff up. I learned it, right? I learned it from it's out there. That's what's kind of cool is I think a lot of times entrepreneurs especially, we have this thing about not wanting to copy others because we don't want to be accused of being inauthentic. But the truth is it's nothing new on this planet. We just need to take it and make it our own. And as long as you're doing it with the genuine, authentic feel of helping people and changing lives, it's amazing how we know things and we learn things. And then other people have never heard of it. And then we scratch our head. We're like, well, if we know it, how come they don't know it? Right? Like kind of crazy. Then we can teach it and share it. But then you get into imposter syndrome because we know it. We think it's simple, but not everybody knows it. And that's how we can bring value.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's why I said in the beginning, we work with people with trauma and then their head spins from over information as well.
Yeah, like that's the one that I fall into is like the information overload.
Yeah.
It's like my head is spinning because it's like I listen to everybody and I fucking go to all these networking things and
Yeah.
it's just like shit, dude. There's like a lot of good
Right.
value here, but it's like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah. Pick one coach and zone in on that system because they all work. I mean, most of them
Yeah,
work. You know, they
yeah,
all work and they all have an outcome. But you find who aligns. Look, Ryan Stewman in Apex is my third coaching group since 2015. Right. But I had the experience of going through two others. Nothing wrong with those people, good loving people, whatever. But Apex is most like me. They're in alignment with me, and I'm in alignment with them. And then they're good people. It's got a good, solid moral backing to it. Um, and they like to have a good time and drink a cold beer once in a while. That's people more like me,
yeah,
not anybody gets stupid drunk or anything, but we like to socialize and we like to have fun and we have each other's back. I think you've seen that in the short time you've been there. Like
for
it is
sure.
truly a family of choice. We choose to be there and we choose to help each other. So, not to take over your podcast, but I'd like to give you a little sample of what I do, if I may. I
For sure,
picked up on
yeah.
something. Can I help you out with something?
For sure, yeah. Let's go.
You're in control because it's your podcast, so you let me know how deep you want to go with this. Is there something in your business or your personal life that you know you should be doing you're not doing?
uh about like anything?
Yeah, anything.
Yeah. The creating system and processes.
Putting your processes together for your business.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you would just for a minute, just put yourself in that position. Like you're going to sit down, you kind of know what you should do, right? You kind of have a ballpark idea
Yeah.
and you want to do it, right? And you get ready to sit down to do it, but you probably feel some kind of block come up in your body. It's not in your head, generally, it's in your body. If you can feel that block, tell me where you feel it.
I'm not sure.
Okay, no problem. Can you imagine yourself getting ready to do that work right now?
Yeah, somewhat, yeah. Like
Okay,
I like how you're saying, like I have a general idea of what I need to do.
right.
Um, I just feel like whenever I write something down, I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, but I feel like I need to add this, or I feel like it's too much things, and I feel like I need to subtract this, and it's like I never actually finalize it.
Yeah. Perfectionism?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. But you don't feel a block from doing the work. You feel like you have to be perfect.
Yeah, or I feel like yeah. I mean,
Okay. Now, when you feel like you have to be perfect and that feeling comes over you, where do you feel that at in your body?
probably my head.
In your head? Okay, awesome.
Just overthink a lot of shit.
Yeah, cool. Do you feel it in your chest or your stomach at all?
Probably my stomach. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we always do. It's always in the body, right? Because the head is the thinking part. We only use 4% of it anyways. The rest of it's subconscious, and that translates to the body. So that feeling you have in your body right now, that perfectionism, right? That's called a part of us or an identity. Some people call it identity. Has anybody ever talked to you about core state work at all or true self work?
No.
Okay. So you want to do this exercise with me real fast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
Let's
do it.
let's clear this. Would you like to clear this up?
Yeah.
If we could clear it up in the next 5 to 6 minutes, would that be cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Awesome. I want you to focus on that feeling in your stomach. It's probably like a feeling like anxiety, correct?
I mean, I don't know exactly what anxiety is, but I mean, probably,
It's a block. It's some kind
Yeah.
of block.
Okay.
It's like a piece of concrete, something like that, usually.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's just a part of you. So I want you to do me a favor. In your head, I want you to communicate with that part. Now, the good part is it raised its hand and it said, I'm here, or you wouldn't feel that. Right.
Yeah.
And it wants something good for you. It just doesn't know how to get it. So just silently with your head, communicate with that part in your stomach that you're feeling and say, what do you want? And tell me what it says.
Like I ask it what I want, or what does it want?
Yes. What do you want to that part in your stomach that you're feeling?
And I just want to like let it all out
Okay. That's
and
awesome.
just
So it gave you an answer. Go ahead.
yeah, just like let it out, just be more out there.
Hmm.
Um, like everything that I'm thinking, like I told you, like I have all this information overload, and I feel like I know what to do, but it's just so much that like I just don't do it, or I
Okay.
get overwhelmed that I'm like, fuck, well, what do I do first? What do I?
Is
How
freedom a
do I
good
do this?
is freedom a good word?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to tell that part in your body, that part in your stomach. I want you to tell it in your head. I want you to say, thank you for answering me. And beyond freedom, what do you want?
Help people.
You
Like,
want to help people. That's perfect.
fe-
Beautiful. Again, stop right there. Break beyond that. Okay. Say thank you for answering it. Beyond freedom and beyond helping people, ask that part again. What do you want?
uh, be happy.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, if you felt freedom, if you were helping people and you were happy, what would that feel like to you?
I feel like I would feel like I wouldn't have any worries. Like I'd be stress free because I'd be
Yeah.
doing what I want.
And what would stress free feel like?
Uh, Probably like freedom, but just like my thing of freedom is like being happy all the time.
Yeah.
It's not really thinking about like the bad shit that's happening.
Would it feel peaceful?
Yeah,
Okay. So I mentioned core state when we started this exercise, right? Remember that?
yeah,
So our core state always looks like this. It always looks like light, peace or peacefulness, one or oneness with God, or just being. Because if we're just being in this very moment, we have no past. And if we had no past, we had no trauma. If we're just being in this very moment, we have no future. If we have no future, we have nothing to be anxious about. We have no anxiety. So when you can feel peace, you're in your core state. Have you ever felt peaceful in your life?
yeah.
Okay, so you know what the feeling of peace is. Maybe you're just kicking back on the beach with a cold drink and your favorite person and some good music, and you were just relaxed. That's peacefulness, correct?
The times that I feel more at peace
Mm-hmm.
um, is, and I remember one particular um, place. Well, I went to Colorado on a road trip by myself. I was out sitting in the lake in the middle of the mountains
There
with
you
no
go.
signal by myself.
So you know what it feels like.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to that feeling in the stomach that wasn't feeling so good. In your head, I want you to ask it. Say, how old are you or what age were you born? It's going to give you a number.
18,
18. And how old are you now?
26.
Okay. Did you experience some kind of trauma at 18? And you don't have to say what it is. You can just say yes or no. Or you can say what it is. It's your podcast.
Not that I remember.
Okay. So you're
Well,
26. You were,
uh, like what is it mostly? Uh,
so it
like
could have
it's
been
like what
eight,
kind of
right?
situation?
So 26 minus 18 is eight, correct?
Yeah.
Did you experience some kind of trauma at 18 or at age eight? Parents separated, parents fighting, some kind of abuse, nothing like that.
I think I don't know what age I was, but uh, my parents were gonna fight. Or they were fighting. They were fighting in front of me, not
Okay.
physically, but just like verbally.
Okay.
But they never separated,
Okay.
and they're still together. So that was like in elementary. I don't know what age, and
Okay.
it happened again. It happened again last year.
Okay. So 26 and 18 tells me it's age eight when you experience some kind of trauma. It doesn't matter what it is, because this is
Yeah.
going to look for all of it. It doesn't matter. We've all experienced trauma. We've all experienced either bullying or sexual abuse or physical abuse or parents fighting or dad left or, grandpa told us we were ugly. I mean, something, right? We've all experienced something that traumatized us at some point in our life. And it's always, most of the time it's in childhood. you know. So all I want you to do, my friend, is I want you to remember that feeling of peace when you were in the mountains, right? And I want you to start at age 8 to this very moment. And I want you to relive your life as if you're watching a movie. Okay? And just replay your life very quickly. It's going to take less than 60 seconds. And anytime you have a memory that was not peaceful, that caused some kind of trauma or discomfort, apply that feeling of peace from the mountains to it and then move right through it. You understand the instructions?
Yeah.
All right, it's going to take you less than 60 seconds. You go ahead and go. Tell me when you're done. Just relive your life like you're watching a movie. Just apply the feeling of peace and keep moving.
All right.
Okay. So now we're going to go right back to sitting down to building your processes. And you've written some stuff out and something's not right about it. You need to add more. You need to take some stuff away. You're not sure which direction. But this time when you're writing your processes, put yourself in the middle of the mountains feeling peace. Now you're writing your processes. And now tell me what it feels like and tell me if you still feel that in your stomach.
Think you actually want me to write them or just think about it?
Just think about it. Pretend you're doing it. Pretend you're getting ready to do it. I mean, if you want to write something out, write something out. You got an idea, write it out. Let's not let it get wasted.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to help your business move forward. This is what we do.
Okay.
Okay? How's that feel? Feel powerful?
Yeah.
Feel in control?
Relaxed.
Relaxed? So now, my friend, every time you have a block in building your business, you just apply the feeling of peace to it and move right through it. Now, you might go a little deeper. Like sometimes you just can't do it that fast. So you might have to go back and go, okay, where do I feel this in my body? Okay, what we did was we took that 8-year-old you said you're 26. We took that 8-year-old and we grew him up to be a 26-year-old man because that block, that's an 8-year-old. 8-year-olds procrastinate, 26-year-olds get their business done. Right? So those are also the same parts, by the way. When those parts or identities in us come up, those are the things that cause us to drink too much alcohol, do illicit drugs, eat too much, have inappropriate sexual relationships. Those parts, because they want something good, but because they come from an immature point, they just don't know any better. So that's where then we get into fear and shame because people think it's them and then they get shame around their behaviors. And then that makes them scared they're going to get found out. Brene Brown is a wonderful speaker. She's created a whole career off talking about this, right? And now I like to not so eloquently say you now have a circle jerk of fear and shame because shame begets fear and fear begets more shame. And it just goes in circles and circles and circles until a pattern stops it, until somebody stops it, a pattern interrupt. And the pattern interrupt is sitting down, figuring out where it is in the body, getting peaceful about it, applying it, then making the next step. I didn't cure any of your childhood issues forever. I certainly didn't solve anything. I'm not a psychotherapist. I didn't have you lay on the couch. All we did was we removed the block that's stopping you from taking the next action. Now, if you were my client and we were to sit down next week and talk about the next thing, there's going to be another block. There's going to be something else. So we just got to clear that. And then we got to take the next step. Now we institute the organic marketing, which Apex teaches. And then my program also teaches more about offline mailers, how to give proper bonuses to your clients, how to get proper testimonials, and really just make them family forever. And I know this is going to make a lot of people mad, but I'm not a long-term believer in running ads, because I think maybe to a point you could add fuel to the fire once it's burning, or maybe you could jumpstart and get some attention. That's fine, but where does it end? Like if you're spending $5,000-$6,000 a month, wouldn't it be nice just to be able to shut that spigot off, and then be able to just have referral business come in so much that you just can't take any more calls?
Yeah.
You know, that would be nice, right? Where you're like, literally, I'm 4 months out, I'm 6 months out, you know, because business is just so good. That's all in your past business. That's all by taking your past clients and creating raving fans. Ryan Stewman doesn't run ads for Apex any longer, or for Break Free Academy.
Yeah.
He's created a raving fan base. He also does not pay us referrals, but yet we all refer people to Apex all the time. Because he serves us, he overserves us, he helps us figure out, well, that's what I help business owners do. Get through those blocks, cut through the BS of the I'm overwhelmed with this, and my head is spinning here. Let's get a clear, concise plan together, and let's just take the next step.
Yeah, dude, that's
how are you feeling? Did I overwhelm you a little bit?
No, more like relaxed.
Good. Glad to hear it. I get a little passionate when you start getting me on my roll. I know you didn't really expect all this, but it just kind of spills out of me because this is what I was born to do. But it took me 52 years of my 54-year life to figure this out.
Yeah, but I mean, that's good, you know, because anybody listening is going to benefit from this. Like I have people all the time, you know, asking me, they're telling me that, you know, they want to do something with their lives. They just don't know what to do or how to do it. And, you know, when I was in high school, like my dad taught me, or he raised me with the mindset of like thinking like an entrepreneur or business owner, because that's what he is, right? He's a business owner. And that was me in high school. It's just, I knew I was going to do something. I knew I was going to, you know, I was meant for more than the average life. I just didn't know what I wanted to do at that time or how I was going to do it. I just knew that I was going to, or that I'm going to get there, you know, because I'm not even there yet. But I feel like that's a lot of people that I know too.
Yeah. So in that case, we would just start with, what do you like to do? I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
You can make a living around it pretty much. In today's day and age, we have a gentleman that I'm friends with, right? And he's a salesman and he sells a product. He makes a really solid not mid six figures, but high, you know, between $100,000 and $200,000 a year. He makes a living, right? And he lives well, comfortable, but he's born for more. He's called for more. And so I said, I know this is a cliche, but if money wasn't an issue and you could just do everything for the rest of the day, every day of your life, what would you do? And he said, probably travel. So then why aren't you building a travel agency?
Yeah.
Because if you're building a travel agency, you get to travel sometimes for free, but definitely for discounted travel, because resorts want you to send your customers to them.
Yeah.
So you could be traveling, you could be blogging, you could be selling travel, you could make that your whole lifestyle and make a really good living. We have a gentleman that's an Apex executive that makes a solid living as a travel agent. Travel agent, Marty K, right? And I think he saw something to do with New York Fire Department before that, from what I've heard. I've never met Marty, I've never spoken to Marty, but I've heard him on podcast. I've listened to a little bit of his story, right? He's taken a passion of his and he makes a solid living with it. We all can do that. We have a gentleman in Apex that builds slot cars, does custom paint jobs for slot cars and sells them. Now, it's not at the point where he's making a full-time living, but it's something he's passionate about, something he loves. You can make a living off anything pretty much these days.
Oh, yeah. And like you're saying, like if they love that, then, I mean, they rather do something they love, you know, with a good living rather than you know, be an executive at a company or whatever and hate going to work every day, but they just do it for the money.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, man. No, this is like fucking crazy. but
I love when people say that. It's great.
but yeah, but it's because like it's not something that comes up at all. So it's like hearing it from someone like yourself that actually specializes in doing this and does it every day and with a whole bunch of other people. It's like you realize like, oh shit, like there's more to it, than just what do you listen to on an everyday basis.
Yeah, brother. Everybody's chasing that money. Everybody's chasing the dream, but the bottom line is they don't know what they're chasing.
Yeah.
When I stepped up, I went up a level in Apex a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, even me, I'm like, oh man, I'm not ready for this. I don't say even me like I'm somebody special, because I'm certainly not. I've taken a long time to figure out where my road was. But I was like, oh, I don't think I'm ready. And then a friend of mine who I'm very close with in Apex, she said, hey, this is what you wanted. I was like, yeah, you're right. So now I'm hiring employees for the first time. My son is my partner in my business. He's leaving his job. He's coming back full time with me June 14th. I'm interviewing a virtual assistant tomorrow. I mean, we're all growing at our own pace, right? But it's just at the point where there's certain things I don't want to do. One of the things I don't want to do is check my own email. One of the things I don't want to do is I don't want to apply to be on podcasts every day, but I have to get my name out there.
Yeah.
So these are things I'm going to have my virtual assistant doing, sending out applications to be on podcasts for me, going through my email, telling me what's important, telling me get rid of the spam, right? Just stuff like that, stuff I don't want to deal with. I don't mind posting. I love posting. Some people don't. So we work on that.
Yeah. Like one thing that lately I've been realizing, or that I got from the $1 Million Mastermind, was Sean Whalen, when he was talking about, like he was talking about building life, right? Not building a business. So the fact that like I can't get away from my business without it stop making money. Um, like I have to build that life and then build the business, or my grind around that. But focus on my life and what I want to do in my life, like freedom, and I'm just like, shit, dude, like that's, yeah, like that's what it is, because I really, like, I don't care about the money, I care about like the freedom and doing what I want to do and all this. Like that's really what I care about, and just helping people. But like, to how you were saying right now is like, I don't, like how you were saying that you felt like you didn't feel like you when you leveled up to the executives, you're like,
Entrepreneurs.
oh, okay,
Entrepreneurs.
entrepreneurs. Yeah, you're like that. Well, you felt like you didn't belong there. Like you didn't, like that's how I feel whenever like I want to hire people. But it's like, dude, I don't know if I'm ready to like become that leader, too. And that's something that I'm like having trouble with too, because I just realized too, like with the Arte and the Apex, it's like, I mean, you have to scale. If you don't scale, it's like everybody else is gonna beat you.
You just
You
own a
know?
job.
Yeah, you just own a job, and you don't get that, the freedom that I'm chasing.
Right.
So it's like Sean brought up the point of the freedom and that life that I'm chasing, to doing whatever I want with my family and my future family, and by myself too. And the point where like I have to scale to I have to build the business to support my lifestyle, but I also have to be the leader and helping like all my team members, achieve their goals, because that's what, like I feel good doing that. So I've been like just trying to balance those two things, or working around those two things.
100%. Put your core values together, which you've already done, as you
Yeah.
told me before we started, right? Get your core values together. You want to scale? Go bid a big commercial job that you can't do by yourself.
Yeah.
It's supposed to start in 3 months. Go bid it. That alone is going to take you out of your comfort zone. Go bid a whatever. I don't know the electrical world, so I'm not going to pretend to. But go bid an apartment complex, the whole thing,
Put
right?
myself in that situation where I
Yeah,
have to grow.
you got to go hire 40 people or whatever, right? Or go
Yeah.
bid with the developer that's putting in 150 new homes or something like that, and be the only electrician on site, where it's going to force you, and the projects will start in 3 months, and you're going to have to hire 60 guys.
Yeah.
Boom, and then you might have to take a very small profit margin, but now you're not actually in the field. Now you're a CEO. Now you're running a company, because you're probably gonna have to put a management level in between there. So you have to pay the guys. You're gonna have to pay the manager, right? An operations manager or whatever it's called in your field. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Now you're definitely gonna need bookkeepers, because you're not gonna be able to keep up, right?
Yeah.
Now you're definitely gonna need social media management, because you can't just ignore that. So you might only end up with a very small override, but as long as you're making what you're making today or a little bit more, what you're doing is you're setting the system up for the future. And now you got the notoriety if you've handled 150 homes or 20 building apartment complex or whatever, right? And now when you go to bid the next big job, well, I did this one. Oh, he's got the experience.
Yeah.
Okay, now you've just leveled up from everybody else at your level. Now you're competing with the big boys that are already out there. That's how you do it. You take the shot.
Mm-hmm.
Just go bid it. Hope you don't underbid it. Just bid it. Right?
I feel like I'm overbidding. Yeah.
Bid what you're worth.
Yeah.
Bid what you're worth, you know?
For sure, man.
How does that feel? Or do you have imposter syndrome around that still?
No, I mean, I don't. Like I've bid a couple of all the commercial jobs that I've gotten, the blueprints, new builds, interior build outs and stuff like that. Like I've bid them. I just never got none of the jobs because I feel like I overbid them. But I mean, I feel like I can't bid under that either, because I'm not gonna do no half-ass work like everybody else does.
Yeah.
And just run the cables going across everywhere. I want everything to look good. I want everything to be perfect. So that's why I bid what I bid.
Yeah, so that's where creating a relationship with the person you're bidding in front of comes into play, because people buy you, right? It's always about you and your morals and your core values, and people always buy you. They don't ever buy the job. They believe in you, and they will pay extra for that. So you stick to your guns, keep getting known, keep building your presence, running those circles, networking. Something else that I'm doing personally, and I'm starting to teach some of my clients to do. You've heard of this concept of the $100 dinner club?
Yeah.
Start a $100 dinner club in your area and start inviting general contractors, and not a ton, but invite a couple, and invite some attorneys and whatever, chiefs of police or general managers of car dealerships or whatever, and host a $100 dinner club meeting for 10, 20 guys. But what you're getting out of that is you're helping somebody, but you're also networking.
Mm-hmm.
And you're networking on people that can afford to leave a $100 tip. That's something we're going to start in this area, because it helps me with the get known factor, and it helps somebody else. You're helping a wait staff person that probably is going to be surprised with a $3,000 tip or something.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, baby steps. Baby steps.
Yeah, I'm thinking, because like that would be part of creating. I mean, one of the things of the G code is posting in your Facebook group, creating a Facebook group, and then getting people like Facebook group locally, and then building an event at a restaurant, and then doing the $100 tip. So it's like, you got everything in one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think your mind just opened up to a bunch of possibilities.
It did. And I know a lot of people around town that are, I'd say Apex. So I know they would be down for it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it, man. Anything else we need to cover?
Well, I mean, yeah, we're kind of running out of time here, but yeah.
Hijack your podcast. I just wanted to help you.
Yeah, no, man, it's good. I mean, you did help me. You opened up my mind to a lot of things, and I know anybody listening that's willing to try that exercise, I know they're going to benefit from that. So just let them know where they can find you and everything you're doing.
Yeah, brother. It's real easy. I'm all over social media at The Real Jamie Hyde, Jamie, Hyde, Hydh, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? And I'm not afraid. I'll put my cell phone out there. It's 561-692-3637. Best to text me first. I don't answer phones. I don't know.
Yeah.
Text or find me on Facebook or Instagram, The Real Jamie Hyde. My program is Vision Quest for Success. I also have a Facebook business page around that. Don't mess around on LinkedIn too much. I'm not on TikTok yet.
Yeah, yet.
I pick my one or two things that I'm good at. It's all I can handle.
Yeah.
And I'm not
feel
trying
you,
to
man.
save the whole world. I'm just trying to change or help. Not even change. I'm trying to help one person at a time and just keep moving. That's my calling. So
Yeah, I feel you, man. So, last question is a canned question I ask everybody: is what do you consider your breakthrough moment and why?
I read a book called I read two books by John Eldridge, Wild at Heart, and then the follow-up is called Fathered by God. And when I read Fathered by God, I was able to put down any childhood hurt that I had or trauma that I had, not put it down completely, but unpack it a little bit that I went through with my parents' divorce.
Mhm.
And then I understood that what it helped me understand is that we were raised by broken people and they were raised by broken people. And our parents were raised, and our grandparents were raised by broken people. That's what they call it, generational sin. Not in sin is in a bad way, but sin is just there's only one perfect person that ever walked this earth and they put him on a cross for it.
Yeah.
So I've had a ton of breakthrough moments, ton of help, good mindset coaches, therapy for 3 years, Apex, 2 groups. I've had a ton of them, but the major impact was that book helped me understand that any hurts that were caused to me as a child were done so unintentionally. And it's just because they were also raised by broken people. And that let me, let go of and forgive a lot of perceived wrongs that were done to me. And then it's just really just your perception. And then it
Yeah.
helped me change the story that I tell myself, you know,
Yeah.
and and that was a big, big sigh of relief when I read that book.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Brian. I enjoyed it.
For sure, man. All right. So, you have a good day.
All right, thanks. You too, brother.